biggest concern before entering middle school as a student and or a parent?
My concern was like getting around the school. I was like kind of nervous, like because I heard the school was really big and it looked big, so I thought I was going to get lost the first day of school. I thought there's like going to be nobody to help me, so I thought I was going to get lost. But it turns out there was a bunch of teachers helping you. You got a schedule and like tell you where to go.
Ava, do you want to add to that at all?
My biggest worry was lockers. So I didn't know how to open lockers. I didn't know if I need to go to my locker between classes. And then I found out that in like our homeroom morning advisory that we had time to learn, and that if we needed help, there's a teacher that has the key. Well, then we really have that emergency.
To know, good tip. Excellent. And how about as parents, you know, what was kind of your biggest concern entering middle school?
I just think my biggest concern was making sure she had a good experience. First day, first week, first month, first year. So every time I felt like I could take a breath, I was like, okay, well, what's going to happen next? So I was worried, and I was worried socially. Just they're used to being in, you know, their tight-knit group from their small elementary school, and who's going to be on their team, and is she going to stay friends with those kids? And that's okay. How am I going to support her if she, you know, starts to try and make new friends? And you know, so the social piece was just kind of a difficult adjustment. And honestly, it turns out I think I was way more nervous about it than she was. And she's, you know, she's just done a good job just balancing friendships and just being open to new friendships. So I think in this building, it has been stressed. You feel it when you walk into this building. It's been stressed about just being kind and being the one all the time. So I think that it does resonate with the kids.
What about anything you want to
Yeah,
add to that?
I mean, I shared the social concern too, because Grayson went to Aiken for his whole school career and was with the same kids from preschool. And so, yeah, there was a little bit of a mashup when he started middle school, and when you first find out who you're going to be with, that can be a little traumatizing for the kids. And then they adjust very, very quickly because they realize that their circles are actually a little bit more expanded, and maybe some of the kids that they saw at camp they might see in their class, and it's not that bad, but initially there is that. The other thing that I really worried about was the autonomy of knowing what his homework assignments were going to be and having to keep track of that. You know, I think they talked about it a lot in 5th grade about, you know, you really are under a little bit more pressure and you have to, you know, watch your own schedule and keep track of your own assignments. And I wasn't really sure how that was going to go, along with, you know, just hearing that there was going to be more homework and how that was going to affect us.
And have you found that the concern was valid? Was it more than you thought? Was it
No, actually,
less than you?
in the beginning, I mean, I think what the school does really well is that there's a ramp-up period. So it's not like they start on day 1 and it's like, boom, here's your homework. There's really, it almost feels like a month or more before they really start getting more regular homework. It definitely seems like a plan. And so there's a little bit more time for them to get used to their schedule, getting up early. The locker thing is definitely something where they're, in the very beginning, they're getting accustomed to, and the autonomy of just running the hallways and things like that.
So how about this? We have a parent who asked in terms of the transition. How do you transition, maybe possibly us, but also you all, transition students from, or your children, from grade school expectations to letter grades? Because that's a change from elementary school to middle school, you know, going to A's, B's, C's, D's, F's. How does that work for either, you know, Grayson, Eva, or your parents?
There's been explanations about that because I know when she's going out to power school and looking at her grades and saying, oh my God, I now have this grade, I gotta do this, I gotta make sure I have this. And so the discussion, I try really hard to stress, try your hardest, and if your hardest is this, then that's perfectly fine. It seems that, you know, it is a big shift. But I'd rather hear from kind of the kids of what you guys think in terms of that shift from, you know, the 1s, 2s, N's, and P's to A's, B's, C's.
because I was paying attention and I wasn't doing like what I wanted. So I had to lower down my goal, and then it brought me a lot higher to what I wanted.
How about you for Grayson, how for you?
I felt like letter grades were a lot easier because it's easier to kind of keep track of your grade. You can know if you did bad on a test by having it either lower your grade, or if you did good on a test, higher your grade from like maybe an A to an A to a B or a B to an A.
So in keeping with that spirit, in terms of the, the grades and how that is, and they do get a lot of different grades, and Power School is a new element. Students can check Power School as well as parents and guardians. I'm wondering, for the students, how do you keep organized with all of the homework? And then for the parents, how do you help your students with the homework? What's that role like? So maybe students first, how do you keep organized with all of it?
So in MA, which is morning advisory, most of the teachers tell you to have like a homework folder to put all of your homework, and they give you 2 pieces of tape, one to write finished and then one to write to do. And if you do that, it's a lot easier to keep track of your homework, and you can even put it in like different sections of your classes you have, which just make it easier.
In my head, I remember science, math, Spanish, social studies, language arts, and I'd go down my checklist to see, do I have homework in this class? And then I write it down. And in the morning, sometimes I'll go to all the classrooms asking if there's homework, so that I sort of prepare myself to prioritize for after school, so I know what time I need to do what homework.
How about for the parents? How have you managed that role? Because I think in one of your sessions, you all talked about that. What is your role now as a middle school parent? So how have you managed that, or how do you?
Yeah, I mean, for me, in the beginning, I just tried to let it ride a little bit and let them kind of experience what was going to happen in myself as well. But it was a little challenging because in elementary, you're used to like constant feedback of what's happening, and anytime there's a problem, and there's just a lot of, at least in my experience, communication that's going back and forth, and I kind of felt like you want them to be more independent, so I kind of let that, handle itself in the very beginning, and there were a lot of conversations in the beginning about what do you have for homework, and once homework started coming, he was able to keep track of it because there are quite honestly a lot of tools. He's got Google Classroom where he can check his assignments. If we're looking at grades, there's Power School, so you can sign up and get, every day when I go into work, I can see what the grades are for both of my kids, and so I kind of can identify, is there like a problem area that I need to address, or is there a missed assignment? I mean, it's very, very easy to see that. There have been periods where I felt like I needed to parent a little bit more on the homework front, and when that has happened, I have access to the Diamond Team homework page, and I literally, the last thing I do before I leave my job is print out Grayson's homework schedule, and then we go home, and then we will go through it line by line, and just to make sure that, and I feel like that also helps him see what my expectations are as a parent, that I'm expecting all of these things to be done, and I think when we go through it together, he can see line by line exactly what the homework assignments are, and then we don't need that anymore, we kind of go back, but there's times where it requires a little bit more direction.
And just so you all know too, each team will have a homework page. So she mentioned the Diamond Team page, but each sixth grade team will have that. So you'll have those resources available to you. One of the parents here asked about after-school opportunities. What is available here at KP? Not that you can list them all, but what are some of the opportunities there?
So for school, I go to play on Tuesdays and Fridays at 6:40, and it's like dodgeball. But for the first 20 minutes, we do basketball, so that like wakes up your mind and like makes it active. And then after school, we have so many options.
Can you list like maybe one or two maybe that you can think of, or that you
Well, we have Capture the Flag. I know some of the teachers have like extra credit opportunities if you stay after and do extra work. We have basketball, football, soccer.
Grayson, how about you?
There's like homework club if your child or you're just having some problems with homework, you can ask to sign up for homework club.
So lots of opportunities. The students actually do have announcements that they hear and different signs on the walls, and so they'll learn about those as we start those programs at the beginning of the school year. Another parent asked, if a student feels like he or she is being bullied, what is the protocol for alerting educators? So how have you all, if you've seen it or experienced it, how would you go about actually letting teachers and staff know, or even parents, how might you let people know, and who would you reach out to?
So if you see it in the hallway, I haven't seen it, but if I were to, I would originally just say tell any adult in the hallway, like, hey, this is happening, just want to let you know, if it keeps happening, tell multiple. And you also have like reports in the office that you can fill out during the week.
Is there anything to add to that?
I would like tell the nearest teacher and I would tell like maybe your teen counselor or your grade counselor, and if it keeps happening, you can go to the office and fill out a report.
So parents, how, because I'm sure you all hear, and you might all hear about things too. Your children come to you at night, they talk to you about what might be going on, it sounds worrisome, so it might be something that you're wondering about. If I hear something that I'm worried about, what would I do? So what would you all suggest in terms of what to do?
Well, I think it's also a matter of if it's something that's pervasive and impacting, every moment, or it's something that she's observed, and if it's something she's observed and is not really sure of kind of the parts being played, I might encourage her to connect to Ms. Tamayo or connect to Mr. Gussie or someone, or one of the teachers that she's particularly close to, just to report that. If it's something that seems to be much more pervasive, I'd probably step in and help access all of those same people. If it's mean-spirited behaviors happening among friends, I do know a lot of her friends. This is the first time actually where I'm just slowly meeting some new ones, so reaching out to the parents is sometimes good if it seems to be more drama than truly mean-spirited behaviors. But if it's something that's happening at school, impacting her day, I'm sure I'd step in and help her advocate for herself and walk through those steps.
How about you all? I want to open it up. I know, again, I'm trying to be aware of time. So how about maybe 2 questions from you all, if you have thought of something, either during your sessions or right now that you want to ask our students and parents here. Yeah.
What would you say, students, is your balance of new friends that you've made versus the friends you came to from your elementary school?
So just to repeat the question to make sure that everyone heard it, it's about the balance. How have you all balanced between elementary friends, right, elementary school friends, and then the new friends that you meet at KP? So go ahead and whoever wants to answer that.
You still have like maybe a friend group that you're still with, but you will make like a pretty good group of friends usually.
So I stayed with a lot of my really close friends, but I also made a lot of new ones because I know that they knew them from sports in and out of town, and I sort of didn't really know anyone. In all of my classes, I had little friend groups, and we sort of form a bond in all the classes. So you don't really need to stay with the same kids, because when you stay with the same kids, it's not very. Because next year and the year after, you're still going to be split up, so you want to be able to make new friends a lot.
And then just, please.
I would just say that the biggest issue that I experienced with both my daughter, who's in high school now, and Grayson, and probably more with my daughter, was lunch. Who am I going to sit with at lunch was the biggest issue socially that we encountered. And as long as there was one person that they knew that they could have lunch with, we were fine, and then the rest of it kind of grew together. But that was probably a really large challenge and concern in the beginning that we just navigated by talking it through. And like I said, I would explain that it's not just the kids that you in your core group, but you in throughout town, or activities, or dance, because it's a much bigger school, so there's a lot more mixing. So the likelihood of knowing someone is pretty good.
And just from a counselor perspective too, that is something that I work with, and I think all of us work with. They're changing friends friendships, and that can be a really tough time. And so as counselors, we're always trying to help guide them through that process. You know, it can be a long process for some students to change friendships, and sometimes it can be a short process. So, you know, but we're there to support them as well if they are going through that process. How about one more question? Yes.
Best part of your school day?
Oh, best part of your school day.
So I usually think it's like RUAs, which can be either gym, music, health, art, tech ed.
Perfect, so you like those. Is there any one in particular that you like the most, Teresa?
Gym, because you do like multiple units, like you do dancing, you do basketball, you do soccer.
How about you, Ava?
Mine is either PE or math, because in math we have friend groups, we can talk, but we also stay focused. And in PE we're also doing team building right now, so I like that, working with other groups of kids and trying to find ways that everyone can be involved in stuff at time.
Perfect. So I want to thank all of you for being here, and thank you all for participating in what I know is a lot of information and a long night. I do want to know before you all get up, at about 8:15, you should have received an email from us. It's an evaluation, and I hope the technology worked. So if you have your smartphone right now, it takes about maybe 5 to 7 minutes to complete it. If you wouldn't mind just completing it, I'm hoping again that it works out. Just to give us feedback on tonight, because we will certainly take it on and try to make some adjustments for our future parents. But I thank you all for